Hello everyone, my name is Amy Dale and I am an independent fashion retailer with LuLaRoe. A little bit later on I'm going to get into what LuLaRoe is, my review of LuLaRoe, and what I do on a day-to-day basis and how my life has changed through LuLaRoe. But first I'm just going to tell you a little something about myself. I have been a retailer for almost 2 years now. I have been lucky enough to be able to stay home. I am a mom of 3 girls. We are super busy. My girls range in age from high school age all the way down to preschool. So we have a huge busy life, right? I also am a wife and we live in Oregon, Ohio, which is kind of like by Toledo, if you kind of know the Ohio area, right by the Michigan border. But again, I have been able to stay home with my kids through LuLaRoe, and that's where I'm going to get into coming up next. I'm going to get into what LuLaRoe is and all that fun stuff. What is LuLaRoe? If you are familiar with LuLaRoe, welcome and thank you so much for joining along on this this review of LuLaRoe and kind of like my journey. If you are not familiar with LuLaRoe, basically what I do is I am an independent fashion retailer with them, and essentially what that means is I am just like a department store. I purchase beautiful clothing items, as far as we're mainly known for our buttery soft leggings, if you're not familiar. Also dresses and skirts and tops, all that fun stuff. So we are a fashion industry company, and we essentially, like I said, we buy items for wholesale and sell them for retail. It is just like any other company. When you go to the mall, that's exactly what those boutiques do, is they purchase at wholesale and sell for retail. And so what I do is I just do it from home, which is amazing. But like I said, LuLaRoe is just a fashion forward company. I have a few things behind me in my boutique, but we do have everything from leggings to dresses to skirts to shirts, all that fun stuff. We are a clothing company from sizes extra small all the way to 3X. So there is something for every style, every size, every shape, and it has just changed my life in many ways, and I am going to get into that here in a little bit. So how did I hear about LuLaRoe? Well, it was a couple years ago. I would probably say about 4 years ago. The company was just getting started. I think it was in its first year. I was invited by a cousin and she was having a pop-up. So I went and I couldn't believe the amazing leggings and how soft they were. They had clothes for my girls, which was really fun. And that's how I first heard of LuLaRoe. I was not big into social media. I didn't really know anything about it. But that's how I heard of LuLaRoe. So kind of snowballing off of that, how I run my business and how I am able to continue being a retailer with LuLaRoe is amazing ways. I am able to work on my phone on social media, and I also am able in my community to have my boutique, which is really exciting. So if you ever have any questions or anything like that, you can always go to LuLaRoe.com and you can find a retailer near you, and you can be able to have some of those questions answered, or you can reach out to a local retailer near you. But that is how I found out about LuLaRoe, and that's gonna snowball again into my journey with LuLaRoe. So here we are after the pop-up that I went to that was absolutely amazing. And what a pop-up is basically a LuLaRoe retailer brings her items, and you're able to try them on and look at them and touch them and feel them and all that fun stuff. So that's what a pop-up is. You can have one with your friends. It's so much fun. So after the pop-up, I really didn't think much about it. I continued to purchase things here and there from other retailers. And then I found out that a girl I went to high school with that is in my community, she actually was a retailer. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is awesome. Again, I really didn't think much of it until there was a transition point in my family. So this is going to get into my story a little bit and how I became a retailer. So there was a little transition. My youngest daughter was not in school. My 2 older daughters are in school. And my mom actually kind of semi-retired, so she was able to watch our youngest daughter. And she actually ended up having to go back to work. So we were kind of at a crossroads, my husband and I. We were like, you know, we're going to have to put her in daycare. I was working outside the home. He's working outside the home. And I was kind of conflicted about it. My 2 older girls went to school, no problem, or daycare's no problem, all that fun stuff. But it just kind of seemed like I was supposed to stay home. I was supposed to stay home in this point in our lives and to be able to, you know, lift the burden off of our families, to run our kids around everywhere to practices and things like that. My job at the time was great. I loved my job. I was working in customer service. I've always worked in customer service, which was awesome. But I kind of felt like something was missing. So again, me and my husband sat down and we talked and we're like, you know what? I think I should stay home. So I did. I ended up staying home. That was great for a little while. And then I'm just the type of person, I don't sugarcoat anything. So I'm just the type of person, like, I love my kids and I love being able to make my own schedule and things like that. But I felt like something was missing. I always had to be doing something. I love customer service. I just feel like I always had to be doing something. So LuLaRoe came back around. The girl that I mentioned earlier that I went to high school with, that was a local LuLaRoe retailer, we ended up chit-chatting about the opportunity. She brought it up to me and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, I'm not really on social media. I don't really, you know, I love their clothes. I wear them, but I don't really know if I can do this. And I kind of started that self-doubting, right? And I'm like, you know, the whole concept of working from home and earning an income was kind of foreign to me. I always have worked outside the home, so it was really foreign to me. But we got to chatting and I did it. I talked to my husband and I signed up. And from that day, fast forward, here we are almost 2 years later, I have just been so amazed at all of the things that have come from the opportunity that was presented to me through LuLaRoe. And I'm going to get into the sense of community here in just a second, but my past 2 years, I just can't even explain the friendships that I've made with my customers, the friendships I've made with LuLaRoe, other retailers, the confidence that I have found, that I knew that I had, but I just kind of exploded, right? I feel like, and it's going to get a little heavy, I feel like sometimes as women, I mean, I'm not a man, so I can't relate, but sometimes as women, I feel like we kind of get lost in the shuffle, right? Whether you have kids or you don't, whether you're married or you're not, whether you work from inside the home or outside the home, whatever your circumstance is, I feel like sometimes we get lost in the shuffle of the everyday. And that's where I was at before I started LuLaRoe. I was like, you know, I feel like I need to be doing something else. I feel like I need to be fulfilling a purpose somehow, some way. And it was just about finding myself again. I've always been a people person. I've always been out there and outgoing. I've always had a really fun, funky sense of style. But I feel like LuLaRoe just enhanced that. And again, we're going to get into my community of girls up here next. But again, I just feel like we get lost in the shuffle sometimes. And, you know, you got to take care of yourself, you know, to be able to take care of others. And I think that's super important. And LuLaRoe is all about that. LuLaRoe is about the community, about fulfillment, about the sense of pride and the sense of lifting others up. So we're going to get into that next. So as you can kind of tell in that last segment there, I know I'm going to talk about community, but it's just everything, the way my life has improved through LuLaRoe, kind of was said in the last video, but it also has improved through the sense of community and through my online community and in my community where I live. The camaraderie that is involved in our online community is off the charts. We build each other up. We are positive. I think nowadays in the social media world, it's really easy to get lost and it's really easy to feel like you're never good enough. And I think through LuLaRoe and through what I believe in, through fashion and confidence, that we have built something that is just amazing and one of a kind and a positive community. And you know, strength through others definitely is super important, I feel like. I feel like if you have somebody that has your back and has the same goals and views and sense of self-worth and community like you do, I think it's super important to be a part of those things. And LuLaRoe has just strengthened that for me, and especially through my customers. I have made such amazing friendships through my customers, and I always tell my customers, if you go back on my VIP group on Facebook, they will tell you that it's not always about purchasing from me or anything like that. It is literally the sense of community that we have built. And through these amazing clothes, over the last 2 years, I look back and I just cannot believe everything that has happened and all the positivity that has come with it. So my life has definitely changed in those ways, and I know that my community and my customers' lives have definitely changed in those ways as well. And I am so grateful that I have been able to do something that I truly love, because I really feel like you definitely can, when people like to do what they do, and I don't just like it, I love it. And I have an amazing group of local retailers as well that we basically build each other up. And if I, need anything or have a question about anything, my fellow retailers are always there. Always. We have such a great sense of camaraderie, and as well as our home office with LuLaRoe. I feel like they definitely are such a fashion forward company that they are listening to everything and watching everything as far as the clothing is concerned. So we don't have to worry about those things. As a retailer, we don't have to worry about, we do look in all the magazines and things like that, but I mean, we don't have to worry about, all that burden is taken off of us. So we get to definitely have the amazing opportunity to hold hand in hand with them on, new prints and new patterns and these new styles and all these leggings and things like that. It's just, the sense of community, again, I'm probably going to say it a million times, but the sense of community is just, it's beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And especially in this day and age, I think that's super important. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other things here in this next slide. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do on a day-to-day basis, being a LuLaRoe retailer and being able to stay home with my kids and create my own schedule and just have an amazing company to work for. So basically I've said it before, I have an online community, and I also have a community built in within my local customers. So I am lucky enough to have a little boutique. My husband actually converted our garage into my boutique, so I'm able to have all of my things that I need for my business in my boutique. So I do online, or I do in-home boutique shopping experiences. I also do online. So I do live shows on Facebook. We have a website that we are able to use now that LuLaRoe just came out with, which is amazing. It's like one-stop shopping. Holla! But no, I usually go live in my Facebook group. We're always constantly ordering new things. We have all these beautiful dresses, all these beautiful one-of-a-kind items that are super fun. So basically, like a little glimpse is I just grab it, I pull it up, and you are able to shop that way. So it's really fun. We have so many different styles that I love, and so many different colors and sizes for everybody. So LuLaRoe is not just like a in the box type of clothing company. So that's really awesome. And yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. I can basically make my own hours, which is so crazy to me. Again, I just can't believe that I'm able to earn an income from home. I think it's so awesome. So this is kind of like the ending of my review with LuLaRoe. I talked about my journey. I talked about how it has improved my life, how my customers have just blossomed into who they were meant to be, basically. And it's all through clothing, and it's all through LuLaRoe. So I just can't thank LuLaRoe enough for basically giving me the opportunity to do something that I love and to breathe fire into something that I really believe and I truly am passionate about. So with that, I'm kind of going to do a slideshow of some, if you've stuck with me, thank you. But if you want to watch at the end, I am going to insert some pictures kind of like through my 2-year journey with my family and things I've been able to do with LuLaRoe. So thank you guys so much for joining. And if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I am planning on doing a lot more videos. Like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for listening to my journey with LuLaRoe and how it's changed my life.